Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Court. Today we are doing part 1 of every series I am in the middle of. I say part 1 because I'm in the middle of so many series and I have so many books right here. However, in this part specifically, we are going over every book series that I am in the middle of that has another book out. Every series that either is finished and I'm in the middle of, or has another book out and I'm in the middle of that series. And I'm maybe on like the second of 3 that are out, or I have just read the first one and there's a few out, or it's a fully completed series and I've only read the first few or the first one. You get the gist. That is what we will be doing today. We are going over every single physical book series that I am in the middle of that has more books out. And there is a lot. I did not realize how many series I am in the middle of until I was like, let's make a video about it. Because that always humbles me. I just found another one. I've probably missed some because I'll be honest, I'm in the middle of a lot of series. I tried to look through my shelves and see and only pull the ones that I've read because there's a lot of series on my shelves that I've completed or that I have, but I haven't started the first book yet because I am one of those people that buy the whole series and then don't read it. I'll buy the whole series, the whole thing, and not read any of it. That's me. Hi, I have a problem. These are all of the series that I am currently in the middle of physically. I plan to make a part 2 of all of the series that I am in the middle of ebook wise. Maybe I'm reading them on Kindle Unlimited, or I got them from the library, or something of the sort. And then I also plan to make a part of this series entitled all of the book series that I am in the middle of where a book hasn't come out yet and maybe we're waiting for the second book or we're waiting for the next book in that series. So I can make tons of parts of these. I hope you enjoyed these. I plan to make a few parts of them and roll them out little by little. If this is at all interesting to you, let me know and I will do them sooner. I just like seeing where I'm at personally. So this is going to help me keep track of the series and see which series I need to prioritize. These are the ones I want to prioritize first because they do have other books out. And then I want to prioritize the ones maybe on my Kindle or that I don't have physical copies of that I get from the library. And then finally, I want to prioritize the ones that don't have the next book out yet, that maybe they're coming out later this year or early next year. So that's the order of the videos that will be coming and the order that I will prioritize the series that I'm reading. Maybe we'll make this a series trying to complete the series. I can put them in a little wheel or we can find something fun to do with these and it will be me trying to complete all of the series that I am in the middle of and that I have on my bookshelves. Should we count how many we have here? 27. This, I did include interconnected series, so there are interconnected series in this list. Not all of them are straight series. Just thought I should point that out. And if you see any behind me that you know I've read, and you know I'm in the middle of, no you didn't. No you didn't. We're going to try to go through this as quickly as possible, and we're just going to go through every single series. I'm going to show you which book I am on. I think I have every book that I am on besides 2, where I only have the first book in the series that I bought, and other than those, every book that I have here is the book that I'm currently on in the series, so that's the one that I'll be reading next. The other 2, I haven't bought the next book in the series yet, and I'll tell you which 2 of those are. I am a chronic buy the whole series and then don't read it, or buy the whole series at once kind of person before I know if I like it. Again, we discussed that I have an issue. I'm going to start off with my current read, which is Rewind It Back by Liz Tumford. This is the last book in the Windy City series. This is an interconnected standalone sports romance series where most of the characters in the series play different sports. So the first book in the series, our male main character plays hockey. The second book, our male main character plays basketball. The third and fourth, our male main characters play baseball. And then the fifth and final book, we're back to hockey. This series has some of the best found family I have ever seen in my life, read about in my life, and I can't wait to finish the series. I've been putting it off because I don't want the series to end, because I absolutely love being in Chicago and this entire found family. I will say I'm not that far into it, but I have really high hopes for Rio's book because Rio is one of my favorites of the entire series, and I have been waiting for his book since literally the first book in the series. This is a 5-star series for me. Every single book has been 5 stars. This has high expectations to live up to, and it is my current read, and we will finish off a series when I read this book. The next book we have is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is a part of the Alex Stern series. There is supposed to be a third book coming out soon. However, because I haven't read this one, it goes on this list because I have only read Ninth House. I have not read Hellbent. I really like the series. It is dark academia set at Yale with secret societies, a little bit of magic and fantasy. It's a lot of fun. It had me so enthralled. The first book, I don't know why I didn't immediately pick this one up. I think it is because there is not any news of when the third book is coming out, but I am obsessed with the characters, with the magic, with the dark academia and secret societies in this book. It was my first Leigh Bardugo book, which I really, really enjoyed, and I need to read more of her books. I really need to read Hellbent. It is now spooky season, so that's the plan, is to read that, and then, again, it will finish a series until the third book that we don't have a title and we don't have any information about comes out, because I technically count series as completely read if there's not another book out yet. I'm still in the middle of that series, but technically I have the whole thing read until the next book comes out. The next series I'm in the middle of is the Powerless series. I am on Fearless. I don't know why I haven't read this either. I loved Powerless so much. I didn't love Reckless as much, and the way I've seen people reacting to Fearless, I think that's what scared me off. So I have Fearless and I have Fearful because that just came out to read, and I will finish this series. Fearless is a full-length novel and Fearful is a small novella at the end of the series, and I think it follows somebody else if I'm not mistaken. But the Powerless series is a fantasy series about our main character, Peyton Gray, who comes from the slums. She comes from a very poor life. Her parents have passed, and she is fending for herself. She is hiding amongst all these people with powers, because in this world, if you do not have powers, you are killed. They're called ordinaries. If you were an ordinary, I think they're called ordinaries. Yes, ordinary born, Peyton Gray. They are supposed to be killed off. Powerless has a bunch of games. It blew up on TikTok like 2 or 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I think. The trilogy has come to an end, and I don't know why I haven't read this one, but I really need to get to this one. I'm just kind of scared of it. I'm scared I'll either hate it or I'm scared that I'll love it so, so much, and that's the end. I'll still have Fearful, but I think that's the end of Peyton's story. The next series we have is the Legacy of God series. Now, I'm in the middle of this series because I did read God of Fury. I read it out of order. That's so unlike me, but I did read it out of order so I could annotate it and send it off to a friend. So I am in the middle of the series and I need to read it in order. So God of Malice would be the next book in the series that I need to read because I'm gonna start from the beginning. And God of Malice will be the next one that I start in the series. However, I am reading Rena Kent's preferred reading order right now, which brings me to Steel Princess, because I am in the middle of reading the Royal Elite series, and I am on book 2, which is Steel Princess. I read Cruel King and Deviant King, which is the prologue and book 1 of Royal Elite. So I now am on Steel Princess. These are just books in the Renaverse, and I believe these are these kids, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to be following Rena Kent's preferred reading order from here on out, and the next one in that reading order is Steel Princess. and it's just a lot of different stories in the reading order. Royal Elite is about Royal Elite Prep School, where these kids are kind of like in a mafia gang type thing. A lot of it's bully romance. And I really liked Cruel King. Didn't love Deviant King. Really loved God of Fury. So I think I'm gonna like Rena Cancelator books, but I do want to make sure I read it in the preferred reading order so I can get the entire experience, especially if they're related. Next up, we have the Shepherd King duology. I am on Two Twisted Crowns because it is duology. I've read the first one, not the second one. Two Twisted Crowns, I cannot wait to read. One Dark Window is something I read in a day. Literally sat on my couch from the morning until I went to bed and read the entire book, start to finish. I love a good gothic romance, and nobody does it like Rachel Gillig. Gothic romantasy. I'm obsessed with this. One Dark Window is something so unique, and I've never seen it before in a fantasy, where it is kind of Regency era, but this mist has taken over this world and everyone's looking for these magical playing cards to gain power. But this mist is like taking over, and you walk into the mist, you either get really sick or you die. Our main female character has a nightmare in her head because when she was young, she touched the nightmare card, and it's just been in her head ever since. And he's very funny. We shouldn't romanticize a nightmare, but I do because Rachel Gillig made it really hard not to. That's all I'm going to say on that. Moving on. We have the final book in the Rose Hill series. This just recently came out. This is the last book, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the last book. It is Wildcard. This is the latest series from Elsie Silver. This is an entire series about single dads, and I have read every single book except for this one. I have so far really enjoyed this series besides the first one. I have high hopes for this one. This one follows her getting with her ex-boyfriend's dad though, and I'll be honest, I'm a little scared that I'm not going to like that trope, but I love good juicy drama, so I may also eat it up. I have a love-hate relationship with Elsie Silver's writing. My favorite in the series has been Wild Eyes so far, besides the fact that they sung in the book. I love that book. So I hope this one hits just as hard as that one. We shall see. That is what I'm on in the Rose Hill series. It's funny because I'm on both purple books. I am also in the middle of the Chestnut Spring series. If you have been around a while, you know I absolutely cannot stand Flawless. With every ounce of my being, I hate that book. But I enjoyed Heartless. I think I gave it like a 4 stars, 3.5 or a 4. But I want to read the series. I want to know what the hype is about. Everyone says that they think I will really like Powerless or Reckless. So I want to continue on and see if they are correct. And the next one that we have is Powerless. This is a small town cowboy romance series by Elsie Silver that also took over Booktok, and I am on the 3rd out of 5. This is her middle series. I have not read any of her debut series. I'm blanking on what it's called. Elsie Silver does not put what she also wrote in any of her books, so that's not helpful. However, I have not read any of that series, but I am in the middle of both of these series, and I just so happen to be on both of the purple books, which I think is hilarious. So I'm hoping to read both of these soon because I do want to finish my Elsie Silver journey soon, even though I had a really rough go of it with Flawless. We shall see. I really enjoyed Heartless, and everyone says they think I'm gonna love Powerless and I'm gonna love Reckless. I'll be the judge of that. Next up, we have the Mortal Instruments series. I am reading this. I started this series a while ago with my book club, and I decided to put it down because I didn't absolutely love City of Bones and I wasn't very invested in it. And I think it's because I listened to the audiobook. And I think I'm going to reread City of Bones physically before I continue the series to see if I like it better, because this is a large series to commit to if I do not like it. And I have the whole thing behind me, as you can see, because I bought the whole thing. I do not have the Infernal Devices series, but I've been told to read the first 3 in the Mortal Instruments series, the 3 Infernal Devices books and then the last 3 in the Mortal Instruments series. So that's the plan that I'm going to do if I do decide to continue this series. However, I have a love-hate relationship with this series as well, and that's why I haven't continued it any. I'm going to reread it and give it a try, I promise. But it's not something really high on my priority list right now because of all of these other series that I'm in the middle of. So we'll see. We shall see. But I liked it. I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't terrible. I just really did not like the audiobook. When the mood feels right, I'm going to reread City of Bones and give this series another go because people love this series. Like, it's a god tier series for some people, and I want to be a part of the hype. Next, we have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. I have read Finding and Keeping 13, and I read them last year and haven't picked up a book since because these are just pain. That's it. That's all that are in these books. Pain and sorrow, crying and tears and pain. That's it. That's literally all that it is. And I am terrified to pick these back up. I'm going to because everyone loves these that read them, and I am curious about where the rest of the series is going and what happens to these children. They literally feel like the kids that I'm babysitting when I read those books, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to take care of you. Please let me help you. It is a very traumatic series. It is about teenagers, and it was previously marketed as YA, young adult. It is not. It is very serious and very triggering, but it is also such a beautiful story in a way that everyone can come out on the other side. Take that with what you will, but I do plan to continue this series. I don't think I'm going to finish reading all of the books that are out this year. Maybe I'll just binge them all if I do get started. I don't know. But I do plan to at least read Saving and Redeeming 6 before the year is over. Then we have a newer series that I just started. That's the DC Stars series. I ordered this when reading Face Off because I loved Face Off. Face Off was so fun. It was almost perfect. It's like a 4.5, 4.75 star book. I love this series. It is just a wholesome hockey romance series where it follows the DC Stars, which is an NHL hockey team. The first book follows a female NHL hockey player who joins the DC Stars and the captain of the DC Stars. And then you meet the team, and the rest of the series follows the team. And it feels like Windy City level Found Family. I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. I'm probably going to binge this series soon because I can't stop thinking about this series and this little team. And the covers are just adorable. Literally the cutest things I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not joking. The only thing cuter are my cats. Found Family is elite. It's hockey romance. I am a sucker for hockey romance. Literally put hockey in a book and I'll give it 5 stars. I'm not kidding with you. I wish I was joking. Wish I was joking. I loved Face Off. Cannot wait to continue the series. I have a feeling that this is going to be a favorite sports romance series up there with Windy City. And I've only read the first book. That's only the second book. And there's like 4 out and 1 is on the way. I don't know how many books are going to be in that series, but Chelsea Curto can just write that series for the rest of her life. Just keep making people from that series, and I'll be happy. I know she wants to write other things. I know, but I love them. Love them a lot. Speaking of hockey romance, we have the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I read The Deal earlier this year because I think I was curious, or it was on a TBR, or something made me read The Deal. Now I'm on the mistake. And his name is John Logan in this book, and they call him Logan, and that's my boyfriend's name, so I really feel like I should read this book, and there's hockey in it. I don't know why I haven't read this. This is like a booktok staple of a series. I think I just missed the hype for it and then never got around to it, but I feel like this winter will be a great time to read this series, especially because the TV show is coming out. There's like a whole TV show coming out for this series. So perhaps this winter we will continue the series. It's nothing spectacular, to be honest, but it's got hockey and it keeps me entertained, and I love a good hockey romance, and it's so funny. People are so funny, and I hate when people are funnier than me, but I love reading about it. That's what this is. So, we'll be continuing just when the time is right. Next up, we have a series that I am so excited to continue. What is this called? The Kindred Curse Saga. I think there's 4 books total. I'm on the 2nd book. It's Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, Heat of the Everflame, and then Burn of the Everflame, I think, is the last one. I could be totally wrong. This is a fantasy series following our female main character who is a human healer. And in this world, humans live outside of this like nice land in the castle, and all of the descended or like the fae magical people live inside the castle lands and on the pretty property and get all the pretty nice wealthy stuff. However, she is a human healer, and sometimes the fae go to the humans for help, especially when it comes to healing. She gets wrapped up in all this kind of stuff because her mom goes missing, and her mom is the specific healer that goes to the castle to help because I believe the king is dying or something. However, her mom goes missing, so Dia, our main female character, takes over her mom's duties, going to the castle and caring for the king. However, it wouldn't be a fantasy book if action and lots of crazy stuff didn't happen. There are lots of different worlds in this land, and they all have different abilities, and it's the descended versus the humans versus the people who want to rebel. It's such a good fantasy series. I loved Spark of the Everflame when I read it. I cannot wait to continue this series. I've heard really, really good things about the continuation of this series. I heard it just gets better and better as you go on throughout the series, and I already gave Spark of the Everflame 4 stars. I think it's going to be another god tier series in our midst. I just need to find time to read it. And Fantasy Fall is here, so I will be reading that as soon as possible. Another new addition, The Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read The Naturals in September because it was on my September TBR. I read it in the 24-hour reading challenge. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. I also read Face Off in that video. I read a few series in that video, and I read The Naturals so quick, literally in like 24 hours, and it was addictive, so fast paced. It's YA criminal minds. They're working on cold cases, they move into active cases. There's so much mystery and suspense in this for a YA mystery. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to continue the series because it's done so well. May I help you? Did you want to pick a book? You pick a book out to read. Perfect choice. Perfect choice. But this was so much fun, and I cannot wait to binge the rest of the series because it's good. Did I guess the ending of The Naturals? Yeah, I did. But I've also heard this is a type of series that also gets better as you go along, so I cannot wait to continue this because even though I guessed the ending of The Naturals, it was good. I did not want to put it down. It made me happy to be reading again. That's the kind of addictiveness is in that series. Next, we got a chunk. We have House of, what is this one? Sky and Breath? The Crescent City series. I read House of, the red one. House of Earth and Blood, I think. Earlier this year, I buddy read it with my 2 best friends, Maddie and Kurt. Hi if you're watching, love you guys. We buddy read that book together, and I think we have plans to buddy read this one together. Not sure, but I haven't picked it up because I'm waiting on them. But they're also reading various things, and this is a lot to commit to, but I do want to read it before. I've heard that we have to read it before the next ACOTAR book comes out. We have to read this and the 3rd one. I don't know what the 3rd one's called. Couldn't tell you. House of Flame and Shadow. Oh my gosh, is that right? I think it is. Please hold. House of Flame and Shadow. It is right. I'm so good at this. But hopefully we'll be buddy reading this soon. I don't know. It's up to them. I can read this whenever. I don't think The Crescent City is my favorite Sarah J. Maas series, but it was fun, and it did make me cry, and it's crazy, and it's action-packed. It's typical Sarah J. Maas, but it hasn't been enough to make me want to continue and pick this up, especially with how big it is. But I plan to someday. Next book we have, this is my art copy, but we have Spiral by Balcropera. I don't know what this series is called. Can somebody tell me what this series is called? Oh, the playlist in this book is so good. I don't know what this series is called. I'll put it up on the screen. But I read Collide last year? Earlier this year? Something like that. And I really liked it. It's just another fun found family hockey romance. This is set in a college, not NHL though. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with hockey romance. If you can't tell, like literally, how many hockey romances am I gonna read in my lifetime? Not enough, but I do want to get to this. I'm saving all my hockey romances for the winter time, and then I'm just gonna plan to binge read hockey romance because that sounds like a fabulous idea. But Revolve from this series comes out fairly soon, or it's out now, just came out. But this is just another cutie found family college hockey series. Love so much. Collide was so cute and witty and fun. That's how all hockey romance series are, but I just can't seem to get enough of them. And I'm not complaining. People can continue to write different hockey series. College, NHL, a girls' league, the people outside on the street. I don't really care. A rec league. Is that what that's called? The people outside on the street? A rec league? I don't care. You put hockey in a book, again, I will give it 5 stars. Next up, the Dirty Air series. I am on Wrecked. This is the third out of 4 books. I read the first 2 like 2.5 years ago. Never continued it. It's not my favorite series, and it's not something that I was gravitating towards or wanted to pick up and continue to pick up and binge the series. It is interconnected, I do believe. I have all the books. I do want to finish it because I am not a quitter and my Virgo brain likes to finish things that I start. I just maybe take a little bit longer to do the things, but I will eventually do it someday. This is a Formula One interconnected romance series. There are 4 books total. Typical Lauren Asher. I think this was her debut series as well. That's really all that it is. I haven't picked up that series in so long, couldn't tell you any more about it. Similarly, Final Offer. I did start this almost 2 or 3 years ago now. Whenever it came out, I started it, got to chapter 10, put it down, never looked back. This is part of the Dreamland Billionaires series. I think I'm going to like this. I did like the first 2 in the series. Don't know why I haven't picked this up. Just have never gravitated towards it. I think this will be my favorite in the series if I give it a shot because I really liked Cal in the other books. And this is his book. I was waiting for his book specifically. But then it came out and I just had no desire whatsoever to read it. I don't understand. But again, I started something. I plan to finish it. This series and this book. This follows the Dreamland Billionaires, which is the 3 brothers who are inheriting their grandpa's will, stuff from his will. One of them gets the Dreamland Park, one of them gets the something else. They all have to do something to gain their inheritance. The first book, he has to make a project at the Dreamland Park. The second book, he has to get married and have a kid, which is crazy. That's a lot to do for some inheritance. Anyway, in the third book, he has to sell this lake house. However, his long lost love from when they were kids or teenagers owns half the house too. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's been a while since I've read those. I liked the first 2 when I read them 3 years ago. I don't know if they would hold up today, to be honest, but they were fun. Cute. I was getting into romance. Now I don't read as much romance anymore. That's why most of these romance series have just been sitting here because I gravitate more towards other things that are not romance all the time. What are you gonna do? We will finish them eventually. I think the rest of these are romance. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Exodus. I read Flock earlier this year. This is part of the Ravenhood trilogy. I haven't continued because I heard this one is brutal. However, this one is on my October TBR, so I do plan to get to this month. I'm probably going to buddy read it with my friend Sierra because she chose it for me in my October TBR. If you haven't watched that video, hey, go watch it. After this video, of course. This follows a small town. This girl comes into town. She knows nobody. She's supposed to be working for her dad's factory or something. And she meets these 2 brothers who both have like a thing for her. And then they're part of like this like, I don't know if it's a gang or like They do some shady things. They're called the Raven Hood, and it's a Robin Hood retelling. That's pretty much it. But they get into some shady stuff, and she just goes along for the ride. But I heard this one gets really brutal, and I'm scared to read this one. And then there's another one, and then there's like spin-off books for this series. So I have a lot to read in this series, but for the regular trilogy, I just have Exodus and the Finish Line. Maybe we'll finish them this month. We don't know. But that's where I'm at on that series. I liked Vlog. It was okay. I think I gave it a 3.5 or a 4-star. I think probably a 3 or a 3.5. I was expecting more because of how many people are obsessed with that series, if I'm going to be completely honest. But maybe the other books in the series will wow me. Another romance, So Not Meant to Be. I read the first book in this series, which was A Not So Meet Cute, earlier this year in my summer TBR showdown, and it was so cutie and so fun and just what I needed at the time. It was just a fun, goofy romance, and I think that's what all of these are going to be. So when I'm in the mood for that, I'm going to pick these up. It was just so cute and fun. This is the Kane Brothers series. They're interconnected. It all follows a different brother. There's 3 of them. Duh. I'm not sure what they are. The first one was Marriage of Convenience. This one is forced proximity, and they have to stay in the same penthouse during a work trip. So apparently they're workplace romance. And I'm not sure what the last one's about, but they're all just like fun, cutie romances with romance tropes. Good palate cleansers. And again, I really liked the first one. I've heard mixed reviews about some of the books in that series, but I think I'm just going to pick them up when I feel in the mood for them. Next, we have the Kings of Sin series. I read the first 2 books in this series when they were coming out, and then never picked them up again because, again, these were just okay to me. The first 2 were just okay to me. And then there was going to be 7 books in this series, and they all kind of felt copy paste to me. I have this one, and I have King of Sloth, and I do want to try them. We shall see if I end up liking these ones a little bit better. I have a feeling that I will like at least one of the next 4 books. Because we have 3, 4, 5, 6, oh, and 7. The next 5 books. We have Greed, Sloth, Envy, Greed, Sloth, Envy, Gluttony, and Lust. Because I've read Wrath and I've read Pride. So I have a feeling that I'll like one of them. Just don't know which one. We'll find out eventually. Probably not anytime soon. There's a certain time for books like those. And it's mostly in the spring and summertime when I'm in a very big romance mood. The fall and the winter time are more fantasy, thriller, literary fiction time for me. So I don't really gravitate towards these unless it's a hockey romance. Twisted Games. Again, this is a bookstock staple. It's just another one of those series where it's a romance series and I'm gonna have to be in the mood for it. I read Twisted Love. It wasn't revolutionary. Didn't really about the rest of the series. It is a booktalk staple. I'll probably read it eventually just to know. And I think there's also movies coming out. So I'll probably, or shows or whatever is coming out. I'll probably just read it whenever those come out. Because you always read the book before you watch whatever. Right? Right. Similarly, It's Not Summer Without You. I read The Summer I Turned Pretty last summer, and I was gonna read the rest of the series this summer, and I had no desire, did not care. I did not like the first book. And I keep telling myself that I need to read this book and the 3rd book before I can watch the show. So I keep putting off this and the show. I have FOMO from the show. Really bad. Maybe next summer. Possibly. Maybe not. Who knows? It's YA. It's a summer romance. It's a love triangle. That's really all I know. The first book wasn't great. I probably would have eaten it up at 13 because that's just who I am. I also read My Fault over the summer. It is a step sibling romance. They'd like just meet in their step siblings, but then they're like, oh, but I actually really like you. And the guy is involved in like some shady business and she gets brought along in it. I wanted to read these so I could watch the movies. I didn't like the first one, but I own all three, so I should probably read them. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't revolutionary either. I just want to watch the movies. But I'm on Your Fault by Mercedes Run, and then there's Our Fault, which I think that movie is about to come out. So maybe I should read the rest or listen to them just so I can get through them and watch the movies. Or maybe I should just unhaul them and then that would take care of the series that I'm reading. I'm not a quitter. I don't like to quit things, if you can't tell. Then we have Caught Up. I read Lights Out. Caught Up came out earlier this year. And then the next one, Game On, is Green. It comes out next year, I think. I need to read Caught Up really bad. I really enjoyed Lights Out. It's so funny. It is a romantic comedy featuring masked men and dark romance, and it's literally hilarious. I listened to the audiobook of Lights Out and cackled at work, and I'm hoping Caught Up lives up to that same hype and same sort of funny wittiness. I think I'm gonna read this sometime in October because spooky season seems like the right time to read this kind of series. I don't know why I've been putting it off other than that, but literally so funny. And Navessa Allen's like social media platforms and TikToks are also so funny. So I know she has the potential to be funny and make this funny. The last two books we have here are books I have read, but they are the books that I mentioned earlier where I don't have the next book that I am on in the series yet. They are just series that I'm in the middle of, and I read these books and haven't gotten the next one yet. The first being Lightlark by Alex Astor. I read Lightlark earlier this year. I am now on Nightbane. That's the next book in the Lightlark saga. I liked this. It was okay. I was expecting a little bit more, especially with how much hype is surrounding this series. The Grim and Oro book just came out and it looks really cool how it's done, where you have one story on this side and then you flip it over like this and there's another story on the opposite side. So I do want to continue the series so I can get to that book and see how I like it. It is a love triangle, a fantasy. They're trying to save their world from this thing that's going on, and in this book specifically there's a game that pops up every 100 or so years so that they can save and like repower their world again. I was hoping for more when I read this and it had so much hype around it, and I think that's why I haven't picked up the rest of the series, is because I was a little let down when I did read it. But it was good for what it was, and I am excited to continue the series, especially because of that new Grim and Oro book that's come out, and I want to know what happens. I'm genuinely curious to see what happens. So that is on our series list that we need to do. I just need to get Nightbane first. And finally, the last one is the Mackenzie Owens Mystery series. There are so many books in this series. I read Dead to Rights earlier this year in the summer, and I liked it. It's a cozy mystery set on the small island off the coast of England. They're just like witty, cozy mysteries of this girl who moves to this small town in England. And apparently, a lot happens if there's that many books for her to solve that many mysteries. I like a cozy mystery from time to time, so when I do want one, I probably will pick up one of these. These are also on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't know if I'm going to buy the entire series, but I did get the first book and I did read it earlier this year, and I enjoyed it for what it was. So we'll see when and if I continue this series. It will probably just be sporadically when I pick it up, when I want something cozy, light, but still has some mystery elements in it because of that coziness. And that, friends, is all 27 books and series that I am currently in the middle of that have books out. We're not waiting for a new book before I can read another book. It is a series where I can read the next book without having to wait. There are 27 of them. That is a lot. We might have to get on this reading vlog series of finishing series I'm in the middle of, or continuing series I'm in the middle of. If there's already 27 of these, I don't know how many are on my Kindle or on library holds or whatever the case may be with that. I don't know how many I have here that have books that have yet to come out. There are several here that I'm waiting for books to come out in November, where I've read the first book and the second book comes out in November. There are several here of that, so those will be added to this pile fairly soon. But don't you worry, those videos will be coming very, very soon. So if you liked this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe. We are still trying to hit our 300 subscriber goal by the end of this month, by Halloween. So if you could drop a like and subscribe to my channel, that would mean so much to me. We like to have fun. We like to talk about books. We love having a great time here. And I will be back very soon with the rest of the series that I'm in the middle of, so be on the lookout for that. Comment below if you've read any of these series and your thoughts on them, and which one you think I should pick up next or continue first out of these. If you have an opinion, let me know which series you're in the middle of. If you have a bunch of series you're in the middle of and count them, let me know. Let me know whatever you want. I like chatting with you guys in the comments. Also, if you want to find me anywhere else on the internet, all of my socials are linked in the description. We can chat about books all over the place on the internet, and I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video real soon. Bye, guys.